Welcome to the ultimate voyage, the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Platinum Pop. We're hoisting our sails, we're grabbing our hidden blade to not only platinum this game, but 100% it. So the game kicks off with pirate Edward Kenway getting tangled in some Assassin Templar politics, and we find ourselves chasing down, killing, and impersonating another assassin, and that leads us to the end of sequence 1 where we get our first trophy.
Oh yes, I suppose that's true.
So we're kicking this off with one main goal, and that is to complete the story and get full synchronization in every mission. Now for those unfamiliar, full synchronization means completing the optional objectives that come with each mission. So it could be staying undetected, performing a specific type of kill, completing a mission within a certain amount of time, something like that. Basically, it involves a lot of restarting checkpoints. A lot. But it's going to unlock us the by the book trophy, so it has to be done, even if we're going to lose a few strands of hair. Sequence 2 introduces us to Adewale, Edward's quartermaster, who captured the jackdaw together. And that is our ticket to the Caribbean. Which means that when we finish sequence 2, we now have the freedom to explore the sea. So having the freedom to explore, we immediately started syncing viewpoints, getting collectibles. I much prefer to do this stuff during the course of the main story rather than doing a big grind afterwards. And it's a nice breather in between missions. So we don't actually need all of the collectibles for the Platinum Trophy, but I wanted to get most of them anyway, so what we focused on was the Mind Stones, the viewpoints, the shanties, because I wanted the crew to sing. We got most of the chests, and along the way we also completed the naval contracts, the assassin contracts, and the Templar hunts as much as we could while progressing through the story. So in our first stretch of free roaming, we got the Excavator Trophy for finding buried treasure, the All Aboard Trophy for boarding a ship without losing any crew members, the Employee of the Month Trophy for completing 25 Abstergo challenges, and the Business and Pleasure Trophy for earning 50,000 reals. Sequence 3 introduces us to some of Edward's crew, including Blackbeard himself, but the Assassin Templar conflict is still following Edward along, and we can see that pirate greed dragging him deeper into the chaos. But that doesn't stop us from plowing through this story, because eventually we popped the trophy for sequence 3, shortly followed by sequence 4. There's also the present day stuff in Black Flag, which is fine, you know, it's alright. It's not as good as when Desmond was in it, but we get a few trophies from it anyway. But before too long, we're back to Edward. We jumped straight into the Templar hunts, which popped us the Help a Brother Out trophy. Now our next course of action, before we get back to the main story of course, is to bring our attention to the forts scattered around the ocean. There are 11 of these scattered around the map, and it's simple. We need to destroy the defences, storm the walls, and take out the commander. And once a fort is captured, it's going to reveal secrets around that area of the map. So it could be islands, it could be enemy ships, collectibles. But I went straight for the harpoon targets. The main reason I was doing the harpooning was to get the armor upgrades, the extra pouches and things like that, but we got two birds with one stone because we also got the Killer trophy for killing a killer whale. And while we were out on the ocean, we popped the Thug Life trophy for plundering 30 ships. And we put that plunder to good use because we used it to purchase all renovations in our hideout, and that popped us the FTFY trophy. And the pirate greed even took over me, because before I knew it, I was out there capturing every fort on the map, and that popped us the King of the Castle trophy. Okay, we're gonna get back to the main story soon, I promise, but these trophies are calling out to me, and I can't just leave them hanging. There's a trophy to fully upgrade the Jackdaw, and I wanted to start working on that as soon as I could, which is why we're plundering so many ships. And while we were doing that, we got the Roped In trophy for doing 5 air assassinations from ropes. And then we got the Silence Fool trophy for killing a guard who was ringing a bell. By sequence 5 and 6, Edward is deep into a plot that both the Assassins and the Templars are after, and that is the secret of the Observatory. This part of the game opens up a whole new section of the map, so once we pop the trophy for completing sequence 5, we have a whole new area to discover. So now we can literally explore the Caribbean, and let me tell you, this was stressful. When you're doing the underwater levels, you're avoiding sharks, you need to like get these air barrels for air. There are like these weird snakes that you can barely see. If Assassin's Creed was a horror game, it would look something like this. But there are a few trophies connected to these type of levels, so it had to be done, and we also popped some other miscellaneous trophies while we were doing them. The first trophy we popped was Merman for swimming 1 nautical mile. The next one was Owned, and that's for completing every objective in a single area. And you would think that I would have got this sooner, but from what I know, there are absolutely no point in getting the Animus fragments, so I hadn't been bothering, and this one there was only like 2, so we finally popped this trophy. And once we arrived to the next location, we popped the 7 Deadly Seas trophy, and that's for visiting all the underwater areas, which means we don't have to do any more. Thank God for that. So at this point, I had been doing all of the Templar hunts as I found them, but I only had 1 left, so I wanted to focus on that and finally unlock the Templar outfit. And speaking of outfits, on the way to the Templar hunt, we got the trophy for crafting the Hunter outfit. And while we were doing the Templar hunt, we actually unlocked 2 miscellaneous trophies. The first one was the Wild West Indies trophy, and that's for killing 4 enemies using the multi-pistols. And then while we were unsuccessfully chasing someone, we popped the Sharing is Caring trophy, and that's for sharing each type of Animus discovery. We eventually finished the last Templar hunt, and that means we got all the keys, so we can finally unlock the Templar outfit that Edward has been so keen on, and it doesn't even have a hood. Which, I mean, makes sense because of the Templar outfit, but this does not sit right with me in an Assassin's Creed game. Now, I kept wearing it for the rest of the story because I'd kind of busted my balls for it, but I prefer Edward's normal robes. So after realising I had wasted a chunk of time getting the Templar outfit, I thought, why stop there? Might as well double down and waste even more time, which brought us back out onto the open sea. And after an hour or 2 of turning enemy ships into scrap metal, we got the Sea Legs trophy for completing all naval contracts. I'd still felt a little hard done by, so I went to the last tavern to get myself a drink, popped the trophy for unlocking all taverns, and was able to blow off some steam. And on our way to the next island, we unlocked the Cannon Fodder trophy for recruiting 500 crew members. Maybe not so much a waste of time after all. And after once again coming back to the main story, we popped the trophy for completing sequence 7. Back to the present day, we popped the trophy Ghost in the Machine for hacking 15 computers, and then popped the next trophy just for completing that mission. We wasted absolutely no time because once we got back to Edward, we popped the trophy for completing sequence 7. And then not too long after that, we popped the trophy for completing sequence 8. We're coming up to the end game now. And before we finish it, I want to be the most feared captain on the 7 seas. And the only way to prove that would be to take out the legendary ships. We're heading into battle with a fully upgraded Jackdaw. Apart from one storage update, but we'll get to that later. We went head to head with these ruthless tyrants and came out on top, proving that we are the true ruler of the 7 seas and popping the Devil of the Caribbean trophy for our reward. The game also cheated us out of the loot from the last ship. See it there on the map? That's a lot of money. That's like $20,000 that they're just not giving to me for taking out the last legendary ship. Anyway, not to worry. We're on track now to finish sequence 9 and... Wait, hang on a minute. Okay, trophy popped, but we missed some optional objectives there. Okay, let me quickly just fix this. Okay, that's more like it. We're coming up to the final stretch of the game, and as we approach the observatory, we pop the cartographer trophy for visiting every area on the map. We can see in sequence 10 through 12 that Edward's motivation for just a bit of coin is starting to take a backseat for something a little bigger. So it's only right that we're going to look the part. So while we were at the observatory, we found the last Mayan stone, and this is going to unlock us the Mayan outfit back at the assassin headquarters. As to be expected, things don't exactly go to plan at the observatory, but it does bring us to the end of sequence 10, which pops us another trophy. And just as things are getting really interesting, we got brought back to the present day. We quickly rushed through this part, but it did pop us a trophy for finishing this mission. We're about to get involved in some pretty intense naval battles, so it's only right that we get the Jackdaw fully upgraded. It was only a storage upgrade that we needed for the last one, but it's going to help regardless, and it's going to pop us the Destroyer trophy. We're also going to get involved in some land battles as well, so we headed to the Mayan door, we unlocked the Mayan outfit, we popped the trophy, but this one doesn't have a hood either. But on the bright side, this one does deflect bullets, so we'll allow it. And after popping the trophy for finishing sequence 11, it's time to finish this. Intense battles against strong enemies, ensuring we got full synchronization in every mission that we played, all of the trophy pops along the way, hacking into the entire Abstergo system in the present day. We became arguably the master of the Caribbean. And we had some fun along the way. But after all that, Edward reflects on his past and embraces a new role as a father. And that brings us to the end. Once the credits rolled, we got our trophy by the book for fully synchronizing every mission. And after such an amazing story, how do we move forward? We fought naval battles, hundreds of assassinations. We claimed fort after fort, and we became a pirate to truly be feared. What's the best way to continue from here? Sometimes, to go forward, we need to go back.
We'll meet again, lad.
I'm only after a bit of coin.
I prize the courage you have inspired in me this year.
I'm no Templar, mate.
Welcome to the ultimate fight. Sequence 2 introduces us to Adewale, Edward's quartermaster. Adewale. Set 15 years after the events of Black Flag, the Freedom Cry DLC puts us in the shoes of Adewale, former quartermaster turned assassin. But now, it's more than just pirate antics and sailing the high seas. This time, we're tackling the horrors of slavery in the West Indies. And we start Adewale's adventure by popping the Liberation Day trophy for freeing our first slave. And the DLC doesn't hold back with its trophies either. Outside of the unmissable story trophies, the biggest grind here comes from the Seeds of Independence trophy for freeing 500 slaves, which we're going to work on as we make our way through the story. And of course, 100% synchronization is still the main goal for the His Full Attention trophy. We managed to pick up our first miscellaneous trophy, Firepower, for killing 5 guards with a blunderbuss. But just because we're focusing on freedom doesn't mean we've abandoned the high seas, because we're still turning ships to scrap metal. Boarding slave ships is what eventually pops us the Seeds of Independence trophy. So we pretty much got that grind out of the way soon on into the story. Freedom Cry is definitely a much shorter story, but it still packs a punch, and after hours of freeing slaves, battling enemies and achieving full synchronization in all of the missions, we popped 3 trophies pretty much back to back. His own medicine for taking out the final enemy with his own weapon, his word was perhaps for completing all missions, and finally his full attention for getting full sync in all missions. So now that we've finished with Edward's and Adewale's story, there's only one more big obstacle in the way of us getting the platinum. And that's the multiplayer trophies. And these were a different kind of beast. So I started with the Wolfpack game mode, and there's 2 game modes inside this game mode. And finishing the first one unlocked us the Master of the Caribbean trophy. Good start, didn't take too long, but next was the endless grind of leveling up to level 55 in the other Wolfpack mode. This was as thrilling as watching paint dry. It's an incredibly long and boring grind that took me hours on hours. While we were doing this though, we popped the personal bag of tricks trophy for using a customized ability set. But after taking down hundreds if not thousands of AI enemies like it was my day job, the Committed to the Cause trophy popped for reaching level 55. Now, you think I would be celebrating, but there was still a few trophies left to get. And this time, I had to matchmake with other players. Now, this wouldn't have been so bad, especially because I had a lot of people reach out to me through my TikTok to help me. By the way, follow my TikTok if you haven't already. I upload videos there as I pop trophies, so you can kind of see them happen in real time. But anyway, where was I? Oh, that's right. The Black Flag servers absolutely suck. And after being stuck in a loop of failed connections for literal days, I felt like I was ready to give up. I turned to the Blackbeard's Wrath DLC pack, which actually had 2 trophies that I could do solo. Queen Anne's Revenge for performing an acrobatic kill and a gun kill with Blackbeard, and Preemptive Strike for blocking 10 abilities while playing as the Orchid. I got pretty lucky with the next 2 trophies. Elevator to the Gallows popped after I booby-trapped a lift and thankfully someone stumbled into it. And it seemed like the Lab Technician trophy glitched because I wasn't even in a game when I got it, but the goal of the trophy is to finish a game in Game Lab. I'll take it. And finally, after finding other trophy hunters who I could actually connect a session with, I got the All-Rounder trophy for playing all game sessions and using all abilities and ranged weapons. And finally, 2 days after getting the All-Rounder trophy of sitting in lobbies trying to connect with people from a boosting group, we finally got into a domination game. I was finally able to pick the Jaguar. We got top scorer and Sacred Land popped. These trophies were an absolute nightmare, which is probably to be expected in a 10-year-old game, but just a fair warning for anyone who's thinking about going for these trophies. You probably want to have a boosting session ready to go, or else I think these trophies might be pretty much impossible. And now with the multiplayer trophies done, we're going back to the single player for our last 2 trophies before we get the platinum pop. We kept it short, sweet and simple for these last 2 trophies, which is good because my stress levels haven't exactly come down yet from those multiplayer trophies. But first, we popped the Siren Song trophy for distracting guards with dancers and then freeing pirates. And what better way to not only platinum this grueling trophy list, but 100% it, than with a drink. So I went to the local tavern, had a few too many, woke up in a haystack, which popped us the Hungover trophy, and with that being the last trophy we needed from this list, we finally popped the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Platinum trophy. And with that, Edward Kenway's journey comes to an end. From a reckless pirate to a master of the Caribbean. He's earned his place in history, and now, so have we. It's been a challenge, but it's been a lot of fun. Not only thank you for watching, but thank you for helping. I literally couldn't have done this without the people who helped me with the multiplayer trophies. If you enjoyed the journey, please like, please subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and get ready for the next one.
Stay my blade from the flesh of the innocent.
The adventure isn't over yet. The seas may have calmed, but
Never compromise the Assassin Brotherhood.
there's a chill on the horizon.
These are the tenets of the creed, the principles I used to live by.
And we're about to explore the other side of this conflict.
My name is Shay Patrick Cormac. This is my story.